You're now listening to the Check 2 Studio podcast with your hosts, Austin and Trevor, bringing you the latest in video marketing and production.
All right. Wait. Make sure the logo is back on screen.
There it is. What do you have for us today, Austin?
Oh, man. This is going to be a cringy one, dude. This is going to be awful. We're going to go way back, and we're going to watch the very first wedding that I ever shot, and we're going to watch the very first wedding you ever shot.
Oh, no.
And, yeah, we're just going to turn bright red. How do you
Where
feel?
it all started.
I honestly, I haven't looked at this, but I know how far we've come, how far I've come, how far you've come. And I know this is going to be very frightening. Let's do this first. Before we pull those up, let's talk about what equipment we had, where we were in our lives, what happened, why we were doing this. And I'll go ahead and start that off.
All right.
This wedding I shot on a T5i with the kit lens.
Nice.
I had a Canon XA10 camcorder.
Oh,
And I had
handheld action.
Mm-hmm. And I had I bought a couple of things that I used for the very first time on this shoot. So I bought a cheap slider that I still use today. I'm just squeaking as much value out of that as I can. I bought 2 Zoom H1s and some Rode Smart Lavs so that I could get some audio. And I had a Tascam. It's around here somewhere. I had this Tascam. Which we still get some use out of that too. And that's basically it. I had a couple of tripods. I had some cheap tripods and a lot of ambition. And I put all that in a bag and I went, I talked to some friends. I had some friends that were doing photography in the industry, and I had some DJ friends. And everybody recommended that I do a free one to get out there, like do a free one so that way I could show what it would look like when I charged. And I went on Facebook and I went, on a couple of places, and I tried to give away a free wedding and I couldn't.
No one would take you up on it.
No, it was insane.
If you're doing it for free, you must be terrible.
Yeah, well, I told people, hey, this is for people that, it needed to be soonish because I was trying to start the business, so I couldn't be like, okay, I'll shoot your wedding for free in 6 months. So it was already past the time where if somebody was going to book a videographer, they would have done it by now. So it was people that weren't going to get it anyway. And I got a lot of interest. People were like, okay, yeah, I really want this. Thank you. They were super excited, and they would disappear. And I got several of that. So basically, my buddy Jeff with Jeff Carr Photography, I told him about it, and they were super supportive. Him and his now ex-wife, but him and they were running the business, and they wanted to help get me in. So I got a call from them and they said, we got you a wedding and you're getting $250, which I thought, woo. Ooh. Yeah. So I never did do that free one. I really tried. So I got it for $250. The bride was super excited. I still see her from time to time. She's super ecstatic with what we did, and everybody loved it. And at the time I thought it was the best thing ever. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I did this amazing wedding. I was showing it to everybody, and I just said, you know what? Upon this sand, I will build my church. And I did. So, I showed it to people. People loved it. And, I'm sure watching it now, other video professionals, myself watching this is going to be very, very tough to watch. But we're going to go through it. And that's basically what happened. And, I just improved from there every single time. Got more equipment, got more confident, got out there. And we're going to see the fruits of that early labor.
Well, before you dive into that, you mentioned you had some equipment, and I'm just curious, who was the source, the inspiration for your process, your method? Why did you buy the things that you bought?
So everybody knows Craig Adams on the scene, And actually, before I decided to film that wedding, because I played around with video stuff before, that's why I kind of already had those items.
Had a background?
Yeah, well, I played around, and I actually did work for a company before that where I actually was writing music for video. So I've been around it. I bought a T5i just as a hobby thing. Like I wanted to have it. And I had that Canon XA10, same thing. Just going to record my friends, hang out, whatever. And so then, you get on YouTube like you do. And the very first video I ever saw, because I was looking at, sliders. I was like, that's a cool thing, slider. So I found the very first video I ever saw of Craig Adams was his video on how to use a slider in a wedding video. and I saw these slider shots, and I saw it to music, and he put it in. I was like, this is really, really cool. I'd love to get into that and try that. So that's where the inspiration started. But I never had the gumption to go out and film a wedding. And I was working doing environmental testing and monitoring at NASA, SpaceX, NASA. I worked at a lot of government facilities as a private contractor. So I worked in SpaceX facilities, NASA facilities, Air Force facilities local to us. We're here by the Space Center, also Patrick Air Force Base, and other like Naval Air Station Jax is a couple hours away. I would do work there. And as people in the area know, and people, for those of you that don't know, there is when the economy goes bad, or there are things happen, there's budget cuts, layoffs are one of those things that happen. There was sweeping layoffs out at the Space Center, and I got the call like, no more work, kid, pack it in. And, it was very sad. And I talked to my wife, and it's like, I've got this video equipment. Why don't I try this? And my wife said, you would be amazing at that. I think you should do it. And that's where this all started. And eventually work picked up at the Space Center. I went back out there for a while, until the video business became so busy that I had to make the choice to go full time. But that's what I did. And that's that's kind of the genesis of all this. Start. So let's talk about the equipment you had when you filmed your first one.
Yeah, so my journey, I was much more of an amateur as far as video goes. I really got my first professional camera when my son was born because I didn't want to pay a photographer to take, photos of my pregnant wife.
Well, hold on now.
Because I'm cheap.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that, but I'm real cheap.
How would that make you feel if nobody wanted to pay us for our services?
Listen, this is what I said. My wife said, I found this person, it'll be $250. I said, we have a camera. It was a T3 that I bought for us.
Not a T3, just a T3 or
just
T3i?
Just a T3, not a T3i.
Okay.
And I said, listen, I have a camera, I have a kit lens. Let me just go out. You're pregnant. If I screw it up, we'll go do the professional photos. So let me take these photos of you. I'm going to watch some YouTube videos. I hear that's a great place to learn. And let me just give it a shot. So she let me do that. And they turned out decent. I look at them now, they're even more terrible than what we're about to look at. But they turned out okay. And that was the start. Now that was probably a year and a half before this wedding. But through that process and, having a kid and you think it's like real special to take photos and videos of your own kid because everything is like new to you. And so through that process, I started accumulating some equipment. People saw some of the stuff I was publishing on Facebook and YouTube. And one of my coworkers at the commercial insurance job basically said, hey, I'm getting married. Would you want to come video it? And this one was free. In fact, I did 2 or 3 free weddings because I am cheap and I allow other people to be cheap, and I wanted to give it a shot. So
now we're some of the more expensive people in the area.
Right, yeah. Well, and my same inspiration while I was just trying to learn how to do video and photo, I came upon Wedding Film School and Craig Adams. So I had started to watch a little bit of that before I had been approached. But once I'd been approached and I started to research it more, I really dove in head first and basically just copied Craig Adams. Just whatever he had, I was going to get whatever I could afford, and then I was going to go shoot this wedding, and it was going to be amazing. I was going to get the monopod and, the zooms and everything, and a similar kit. I think I had a slightly nicer kit than you did because I had a 70D by that point, which I just sold.
What lenses did you have?
Well, so the key lens and what I shot almost everything on was the Sigma 18 to 35 1.8.
Well, you had that at your first wedding?
I had that at my first wedding. Actually, I had, if you could hand me that over there, I don't know if you could reach it, maybe not, the Tamron 70 to 200.
You had a 70 to 200 at your first wedding.
That's right. But I didn't have a slider, and I'm still not the greatest operator of a slider today. Let's leave that to the pros like Austin.
My slider's so janky that it's 90% me, and I'm just using the slider as like a reference.
But I was pretty good at the monopod, and that's basically all I used. It was a monopod, and then I shot it with my wife. She had a tripod, and I had my B cam was not a camcorder. It is a Panasonic FZ300, which can shoot 4K, and if you use it right, it has a small sensor, but it was actually pretty good.
You still have
I
that.
still have it. It's in that bag. We use it for some behind the scenes stuff and other random things. But yeah, that was the same thing. And it was, luckily for me, the couple was very good looking, and the venue was one of the nicest venues in the area. So even though I was a complete moron, I think it turned out pretty good. We're going to see, because we're going to watch it. But I think that
I'm not going to make outrageous claims about mine being very good.
I'm not saying that it was good.
No, I'm not saying
but I'm
it's-
saying
it's-
for a very first one, I think that I'm not going to be that upset, because I've probably shot worse weddings after doing this one. But I got lucky, is what I'm saying.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to dive into this before it gets too long-winded. So it sounds like you had a little bit more. As far as you had a really nice lens. So I was shooting on the kit lens for
I
mine.
had those for photography. So I said these could work really. When I bought them, I knew that they would also be decent at video. But yeah, I had bought them because I was doing more photography stuff, and so that's why I had all that gear.
All right. Well, I really feel like I'm gonna be naked in front of the camera doing this, but we're gonna watch mine first.
You had more experience, though.
Not really.
Yeah,
I mean,
really.
I had some, like, just filming YouTube videos and stuff. But we'll go with that if that's what you want to say. And we're not going to watch these straight through. We're not going to do that to you guys. I'm going to pause and talk about things. So I haven't watched this in a long time. So just to lay my thoughts out there to see if it changes after watching. So I'm going to say that this is something that is great for the couple. They loved it. They totally loved it. And other people booked me based on this at the time. Where it's going to suffer is probably going to be, it's probably going to suffer maybe some audio wise. The color is going to be all over the place. I'm telling you right now, the color is going to be crazy. But these are things that the couple aren't going to really notice, but other people are going to see. Strong points, I'm going to say that I definitely put a lot. I tried very, very hard. So let's see if I'm going to be completely embarrassed or pleasantly surprised. But that's my assessment going into this. So let's just watch maybe like the first 20 or 30 seconds. If I need to pause it or go longer, we'll do
move
that.
through a few scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, little flare, slider action.
That's kind of embarrassing. That's like a transition in the...
How'd you get that deep sky?
Let's take a look. So this is on the slider. This is on actually a steady... it's like a glide cam knockoff that I borrowed. I think it was just sunny all around. And for those of you that don't know, in our area, we live near Cocoa Beach. So to get the water to look not brown, did they call it cocoa because the water is so brown? But it is. So to get it to even look green like that is a challenge.
Yeah.
Somebody commented. Somebody on Facebook commented that our opening shot in our thing is way oversaturated. Well, to get the water to not look brown, you have to jump through some hoops here. We don't have that deep blue water, so I think this is just it's just exposed. I mean, it's not like there's nothing in the foreground that I need to expose for. So I'm just exposing for that sky. That's the only reason it looks like that. And the tides, they've changed their signs.
I like the little foreground. Are you dangling something in front of it?
My buddy Mike was with me. You know Mike. We just got off the phone with him, but he was holding that grass in front of the slider, so I'd have a foreground, something to slide past.
See, you are an expert. Ooh, I like the rafters.
Yep.
Oh, the ring shot.
To celebrate a new beginning.
This audio is a little.
Bennett and Laura Catherine.
He's a little red.
Did you stage this or
that guy? He's the I don't remember. Where is he? This guy he's a rough dude, very cool guy, very blue collar, kind of just a good old dude. And but he is I can't remember what he does for a living, but he works outside. So he did have a very dark complexion. He's got he looks kind of red, but that is kind of accurate. This is in slow motion now. For those of you that might not know, to get slow motion on the T5i, you have to shoot in 720. So I did a lot of shooting in 720.
This marriage and dedication of love has already taken place in the hearts and minds of this couple.
I found a window to get some light.
There we go. Little fixture.
That's mother of the bride.
We are here to witness their commitment to each other
And this is at a hotel, or is this in the Tides?
This is at a salon that they were at before.
Okay.
Now,
so you got there early for the prep.
I'm all about the prep, but like I went out, I was there. I went out all day. I was there at the salon. I really showed up way earlier than I needed to.
Their vows.
It's a long curling shot there. Really letting it sink in.
Yeah, I could have. And she was having a good time, so
Yeah.
Rick and
Oh, here
Katie,
we go.
Every experience you've
The
ever
reveal
had,
of the
everything
table.
You've ever done, everything
Man,
you've
this
ever
audio is
learned
hard to
has
listen to
brought
for
you
me.
To this moment, you now stand before us, take each other as
I remember I
husband and
didn't get the
wife.
shoes. So
New
later,
experiences lie
She made to
before
take
you
'em
with
off.
oh, look at
opportunities.
this. That's dark.
Yeah,
Wow.
Maybe a panel might help you out there.
And I did have a panel. I actually
You had
see.
lights?
Look, see that? That's the box I used to keep my Zoom H1s in. And I think there was going to be, there was a gift giving, and I felt like I had to get audio.
To grow deeper in love with each other. Who has the honor of presenting this bride today?
This is father of the
Here we
bride.
go. Oh,
I loved you first, Katie Coo.
we're going to see one like that. on my
I
wedding.
did something in this wedding that I've never done since, and I just remembered. So she gave that was a gift to him actually.
Okay.
She was giving but she gave one to her mom too, and it was a music box, and it played "You Are My Sunshine," and I wanted to include that. So believe it or not, at this time, you guys aren't gonna believe this, but I took this music's from the music bed. I took the music down, and I actually analyzed the key that the music box played "My Little Sunshine" in, and I played chords on the piano that went along with that.
That is over the top.
Yeah, you'll hear it. Let's see how I actually did at this. That's me playing piano.
Really? Doesn't sound like that. I mean, it sounds like it's coming from...
Well, you know the music box doesn't have a piano in it.
How do I begin to thank
I've got some
you for
strings.
so special as you?
But it sounds like a piano
One who
box.
gave me life and loves me through and through. The sacrifices you have made. Have
So wait,
led me to
you're
this
talking
You're
the
hearing-
tings or
you're-
the piano box?
You're hearing the music box, the
Okay.
actual music box.
Why am I saying piano box?
And then I didn't want to drop the music out, and just because it's all the music box does are those little ding ding ding.
I
ding,
see.
ding,
So to blend it, there's a
ding,
you
ding,
put
ding,
background in
ding.
there.
So no, what you're hearing is the music box. It goes ding 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 ding. So I found the chords to the song, but of course the music box isn't like perfectly tuned. You know, it's got a little fork in there, and then I added the piano that you're hearing in the background and the strings.
through and through. The sacrifices you have made have led me to this place. The depth of love you hold for me can
Now I
never
see.
be replaced. You have been my sunshine.
Is this camera audio?
the moment of my birth,
It is.
And no words will ever be enough to express all that you're worth. I thank God every day for you, a mother on whom I depend.
And then I dropped out my audio. So that's actually something I did that I would never probably do again in a million years. But this was I needed this to be the best it could be, because this is how I was going to sell myself. So yeah, I don't know if anybody out there's ever gone to those lengths to keep in some audio like that, but that's what I did. I think that audio actually sounded better than the other audio, and that was with one of these Rode Smart Audio, Rode Video Mic Pro. So let's continue. So green.
Sure, it's not just his monitor.
Oh, and I have to call out Jeff here. I'm getting
As
flashbacks
you
as I
walk
watch
hand
this.
in hand into the future, cherish each moment as a gift.
Right here,
A
Jeff
gift
Carr,
given to strengthen
photography.
the bond between you. Rick and Katie, this is a new beginning.
I would not
for
have
both of
noticed
you,
it.
and
Well,
I'd
I
like
guess I
to
would have noticed it
offer
for a
some
second,
gentle
but-
reminders to ease your lifelong task of living.
I can't be
growing
too mad at him
together.
because he got me the gig.
Be kind to each other, and when you disagree, do it respectfully. Be gentle and forgiving with each other. When you forgive,
Where's
your
this
hearts
audio
make
coming
room for
from?
A little more love,
This
a little
is
more
the
understanding,
officiant
and a little more
During the
compassion.
wedding.
Donna Grigsby. Yeah,
She's
um,
wearing
each other.
a
a lapel.
Share the joy in your heart and any
Let's talk
solace
about this
that
for a minute. This was tough.
And
At the tides,
forgive-
you're covered. There's a canopy, and then there's a white wall behind. And I just,
do it respectfully.
you know,
Be gentle.
trying to
and
get everybody
forgiving
walking
with
in.
each
I don't
other.
show everybody walking in
forgive,
anymore.
your
At this
hearts
time, I thought I
make
had to.
room
And
for
if
a
you look at
little
this
more
vent,
love,
now it's over
a little
here.
more
I flopped each
understanding,
one,
and a
so it
little
would look a
more
little
compassion.
different. So now it's back
Communicate
over
with each
there,
other.
and the background's just
Share the joy in
gone.
your
Yeah,
heart
that's
and
a
any
tough
sorrows
This
thing
is
to
Hank
get.
from Breaking Bad.
Open your heart, find your love.
Does look like him.
It does.
Rick and Katie, before you exchange your vows today, I want
There's
to
my
remind you
XA10 back there
you're
on the
making
tripod.
A lifelong commitment to share the rest of your lives
Now
with
it's
each
over there,
other.
of course, because I keep
Yet the
flipping.
journey's not yours alone.
the
For you
shot.
are blessed with a beautiful
And that, does it
daughter,
have
Ava.
autofocus?
And Rick, you are
Oh,
blessed
yeah.
with
It's a
Okay, so you're
camcorder,
able to
yeah.
track them.
Oh, no, what I'm shooting on right here?
Yeah.
No, it does not. No, because what you're looking through right now is the T5i.
Yeah,
with
that's
the
what I
kit
meant.
with the kit lens. No, it doesn't.
They are your gifts from God, and they are very much a part of this beautiful union. Since the two of you have found such a love in one another, and you've
Wow,
chosen
what was
to
I
enter
thinking
into
there?
the holy bonds of marriage, assuming all of its rights, obligations,
Here she
and
comes.
abundant joys, I will now ask that you outwardly
You got to turn around. I
Man,
whipped around, got the groom,
That's soft. I see you're trying
and
to.
like overexposed. But you know, I was exposed for people walking up. I had to
Yeah.
flip around real quick. So at the time I got this shot, I had a little bit more time. The dynamic range on the camera is just tough. So it's like, you know, we're losing the sky, we're losing everything.
Did you have a monopod?
Yes.
Okay, so you did a monopod.
Yeah, this is like all on a monopod.
Is he wearing a mic?
Yeah, he was wearing one, and the officiant's wearing one. Look at this like weird light going.
Desires and needs.
Oh,
Will you strive to keep your love flexible and adapt to changing circumstances in this
that's a good
marriage?
shot.
Do you
Now that you're set up
promise
and
Yeah, so when everybody's walking in, you know, this is my first wedding. I'm like,
yeah,
where
everything's
do
moving fast.
where do I go? What do I do? But now, like, this moment I had time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
This is Jeff's taking the photos and you're videoing them taking photos.
Yeah. Which usually, I don't even, during cocktail, I go pack up some stuff, and then I
edit.
come back at the end. Well, if I'm doing a same day edit, then yeah.
Yeah.
But I come back at the end when it's just the bride and groom, because I don't need the whole family standing there.
Staring at a camera.
This is great music too, by the way.
I like how it picks up.
Where did you
here.
get this?
It's from the music bed.
Okay.
This I paid $50 for.
Wow.
This is actually
cool
mono.
shot.
That was actually on a monopod. So
Really?
Just
You're just
trying,
like
yeah.
tilting across?
Now the reception was super dark.
Oh
And
man.
T5i.
Did you have any lights?
No.
I had no lights, so
I think I had a panel, but like it was too far away to even do anything.
I do see some blue. Well, that could have been the DJ.
This TD was the DJ here. He's a DJ in the area. He was actually the DJ at my wedding, which was about 8 years before this.
Wow.
So my very first wedding I shot was actually my wedding DJ.
So is that actually their kid
This guy was killing it, dude.
on the dance floor? And here we go.
Let's see.
Oh, and the fog is rolling in.
Oh yeah. That's her kid, obviously. This guy right here.
So did your wife help you with this, or you
Yeah,
shot it
it was-
completely solo?
No. It was my wife and I shot
Okay.
this. The two cameras.
Here
There's,
we
like, some
go in the
weird-
slow motion. So is that fog? Is that why it's so soft?
It's probably
I mean, not fog.
the
it's,
high ISO.
Right, the humidity.
No, I don't think I had that problem. There's my first I have a way better one of those now. Spark 11 Productions.
There we go. So what are your thoughts now
You
that
know-
you've seen it?
You know, obviously, like, there's a lot of things that, like, I would just be ripping my hair out now. Like, some of those overexposed, blown out highlights, the dark reception, no lighting, like, all of that stuff, the audio being subpar, all of those things. Like, I would be just, you know, but at that time, you know, I was just glad that something came out of it. You know, at the end, I was able to make this. We came in at 6.5 minutes, which is a good length. What are you doing over there, dude?
Trying to get myself organized.
Trevor, quality of the show is diminishing.
I want to know your thoughts. I need to be ready for when I'm ready to go.
All right. So basically, my thoughts are, you know, for my first wedding with the equipment I had, And at the price point that I was working in, I think they got a deal, dude.
I think you're right. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. You said you were expecting such terrible things, and I thought, number one, I thought the story was great, and that should always be number one. You really start to see the couple, get to know them a little bit. You have your bearings. Yes, there are parts that are rough, but I see so many things that are signature of what you do now that you can just tell, that the hard parts to learn in this business, in wedding production, you already had a very good handle on. And so, I was impressed.
I had Craig Adams on the scene on YouTube. I was watching his videos. I thought a lot about it. And I had a healthy fear. I had a healthy amount of nerves going into this. And, just decided to work. Man, you're killing me over there. Playing with your bag. Oh, just because you wanted to have that mic out.
Listen,
here.
You're within arm's reach of all your stuff.
Not all my
so
stuff.
I'm not in any of mine, so just deal with it.
All right. So, enough to be said on that. I think that I gave him a deal. I learned a lot, and I remember on the day, I was so stressed. I was running around, going crazy, trying to get all these shots, and I remember thinking how much work this is. And I had that moment of, do I really want to do this for a living? And you kind of go through those. You go through that emotional roller coaster. And when I delivered it, and they loved it so much, then I knew it's worth it. A little bit of temporary hard work, which doesn't kill anybody. It's great exercise. Got to be in good shape to shoot a wedding, because I'm kneeling down. If you want to get all those creative shots, sometimes when I shoot weddings now, it's like, do I really want to go grab the slider? Do I really want to do this? Or I really want to put a light right here just for a simple ring shot or something? And and I remember, hey, if I do it now, it'll be there and I'll have it. And I don't want to sit in the editing chair. I'd rather struggle now and have an easy edit. But enough of that. It's time for me, now that I've danced around naked in front of the camera, I think it's time for you to dance around. But first, before I do that, I want you to go ahead and well, you kind of did. You went over what you thought about mine. What was your let's and I'll do this for you. I want you to tell me what the worst part about it was and what the best part about it was.
The best part, like I mentioned, was definitely the story. The worst part about it was really, I think, the exposure and the focus was rough, and then the lighting. And, that, the lighting and the reception, but it's such a non-important part of the actual story that you can survive without it, and you're going to see, I'm also making excuses for myself because you're going to see that same thing in mine. The only thing I would have liked that I could really fault you for at your level of experience and equipment is trying to get a little bit more in focus and a little bit more with the right exposure. Those are the only things that if I had seen it back then, those are the things I would have given you a hard time about. Be like, why isn't this better?
You know what? I think you're right. I think that's a spot on critique.
All right.
Let's take a look at this. Does this look familiar? Did these boots look familiar?
Oh, those boots are made for walking.
I don't know if I've seen this.
And that's just what they'll
Have
do.
So you saw that?
You've seen this because without a doubt.
I'll know as I'm watching it. Because you and me were a competition. We were both new on the scene.
Yeah, we didn't know each other.
And when you filmed this and when I filmed that other one, was around the same amount of time.
It was really around, yeah.
Because I remember I was looking on Facebook. Like, who's this Trevor Barone guy? I think he's
Barone Productions.
I'm the
brand
new
that
video
doesn't
guy.
exist anymore.
A new guy on the scene. Well, now we've joined forces.
Yeah. So I didn't know how to do a shoe shot, and people are like, "Why is your opening shot shoes?" I was like, "I don't know."
Playing.
Get some music here. Oh, and you're definitely gonna see.
This is something you had.
I did have a drone.
I did not have a drone.
I did upgrade from a Phantom 3 to a Phantom 4 for this wedding.
I didn't have a drone for my first 10 weddings.
Yeah.
I fought it kicking and screaming. I was like, no, my filmmaking game needs to be strong on the ground.
You rage against the drone.
Now I have a Mavic.
The best Mavic.
I do.
So this is my wife getting this shot on the FZ300, showing the garter and the shoes. 90% of
those
this
highlights
me.
are great, Trevor. I feel like I'm going to be such more of a dick than you were.
Yeah.
This is a great one. I
This
like this
is
shot.
also not my shot. That's FZ300. No, I'm with the guys. I do almost a zero bride prep to this day.
I just want to look at
I
the
don't even
exposure.
talk to the
This is
bride.
pretty good exposure here. We're not the shadows.
Well, it's pure luck because this is complete auto. I'm
gonna
almost
say
certain of that.
there's no true black, and there's no overexposed highlight. But what is this? Looks like there's Oh, that's a screen.
Yeah.
She's near a screen. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
is there like an effect on there?
Yeah.
No, looks well exposed. Nice bright on this side. Went over. Little
And then,
yellow.
you know, a lot of slow-mo.
Little green.
Here we go.
Oh, so this is at Up
This-
the Creek Farms.
Yeah, very nice venue. Probably the nicest, maybe
You
most
got
expensive
lucky.
venue.
My first wedding I did at Up the Creek Farms was like, when I did that one, it was like a game changer for me. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. So, this is a nice little drone shot. I didn't see that wire before. Another one really got to showcase the grounds. It does have nice grounds.
They have like
Some
the memory
random other
table.
B-wall. Probably should have started some talking by now. Mine's a little bit longer here.
Do you have any audio
Here
in
we
this?
go. I will have a lot of audio. Oh, wait a second. No, I don't. I don't have a lot of audio.
I thought your first wedding you didn't have any audio.
No, it's a music video. So there's very little story. There is a little bit, but it's
We
not.
can still tell the story visually. Like we see what's happening. This is the first look.
Yeah, so they had some events, right? Because at a first look, they're in the shade and then the real White House.
Yeah, it'd be tough to get that all.
So, yeah, I'm trying to get some of this action.
Is this father of the groom?
Yeah. But not necessarily.
So you
I mean,
try to follow him on focus there, lost for a minute. It's definitely sharper
It's
than.
pretty good, but mine has autofocus. So, and it'll do face focus too on that 70D.
Well, this whole video so far is sharper than what I put. Remember, I was shooting mostly at 720.
Yeah. And I did.
Is that a kettlebell?
No, that's a camera actually.
Oh, is it?
That's my time lapse camera that you'll see for a few time lapses.
It looked like a kettlebell, did it not?
It kind of did.
Were you getting a workout in?
Yep. So they're just walking. This is more formal. They did the formals before the wedding.
Is this guy
the
dabbing over
ceremony.
there?
Yeah, they're doing like different poses for the photographer. Another drone shot. This one has a lot of drone shots. I felt like they kind of worked for what they were, especially because they were low to the ground. So this is out of focus. I think it comes in focus there.
Yeah.
But there's a good shot. Like,
It's almost like it
Backlit.
almost looks like an intentional focus pull. Like
yeah, it's like a little backlit. So here's the same thing. People
fo-
walking
focus
up.
is hunting a lot. Yeah.
And I thought the same thing, like, oh, I got to get everybody walking up. Oh, but here's the first
you
shot.
don't have to show all that.
Crescendo, back and forth with the bride and the groom and the reaction. He lost his... So here's where you should want to hear the groom, or I'm sorry, the officiant. And I put a mic on somebody. Oh, and I set up for the officiant to talk into the mic. And he just left it to the side and didn't even talk into the mic.
Yeah, you can't trust everybody
Yeah,
to.
and I should have been double and triple mic'd, so I
Yeah.
definitely learned my lesson there. But I did have a 70 to 200, and so these shots, this is not the 70 to 200, but you'll see some
But
of
you're
them.
still pretty telephoto because I can see the background's pretty
well, that's
compressed.
the FZ300 right there.
We're
But
not
you'll
seeing
see-
way out like into
Yeah,
the background.
that's
It's pretty.
that thing will go 600 millimeters
Oh,
because it's a super zoom.
you got
but,
some tears there.
but
That's
the,
nice.
the 70 to 200, that makes some gorgeous images.
I hear audio.
Oh man,
Oh, I did hear a little
you
bit.
sort of heard it. Well, I mean, if it was turned up, but yeah,
Let me see.
it's. I think camera audio. Go back a little bit further.
I heard the music kind of like dip real quick.
Yeah, just so you can see, you can may now kiss the bride. But yeah, no, the audio game was very bad.
Look at him. You got him
He's just,
crying.
yeah, I had to get the emotion. Another drone shot, but we're changing locations.
Uh-oh, is this copywritten music, Trevor?
Yes, it is. So the audio, all of it, just be taken out. Some activity going on here. That first shot where you see the whole room.
I
Go back
can't
to that first
begin
shot.
to know it.
Go back to that first shot where we see the barn.
We've come along. You talk about?
So go back. So we see the barn, and we go inside the barn. So go right here. So go ahead and pause that. So I have the
We wait till it gets to the band.
no, just hold it. So I'm on the monopod, and I just put the monopod like on my chest and put the camera way up in the air. The 72, or no, it's on the 18 to 35 Sigma, and I'm just getting the whole room here from an aerial perspective. I thought that turned out pretty good.
Now you get a
for
lay
what
of the
it was.
land.
Yeah. So yeah, let's keep progressing. This is cocktail hour. People doing random stuff, activities.
My wedding at I got that same shot of somebody doing at cornhole. I hate the name cornhole, dude. Like, come on.
And so we see the knives, a little bit of focus pull. I thought these cake shots turned out okay for just being on a monopod. This is some getting ready.
Is this audio of the band playing this? Because I saw they had like a string section over there. Because this obviously isn't the recording by Neil Diamond.
No, it's not Neil Diamond. But in this slow motion, go ahead and pause this for a second. So any part where you see in slow motion, there was the FZ300. I did shoot in 60 frames, but I used almost none of that. The other camera, the 70D, I shot only in 1080p, 30 frames per second. But I slowed, if there wasn't a lot of motion, I slowed it down in After Effects. And I could get some pretty good slow motion out of it. And I tried to do that as much as I could. So if you see that, that's what that is.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and keep moving. I'm just getting ready. That band is amazing. And I got to do another wedding with them as well.
Really?
They're called the Smoking Jackets.
I've never been to a wedding with a band.
Wow.
It's
Well,
always a
I've been to
DJ.
2 with them, and it's amazing. This is actually a GoPro, them entering the room. So I wanted 2 shots.
There was some GoPro in mine, too.
Yeah. So they're coming in here, excitement. So we used all 3 cameras for the entrance. There was no speech here.
I do hear some camera audio.
So here is this.
You went through the trouble to pull that mic out, so you might as well show it to them.
That's not what I was looking for. I thought there was something else in my bag. This turned out to be visually an amazing scene, but I didn't really plan it like this. They were in the shade and they were backlit.
Wow.
This is
she's
a thing called
taking
burying the bourbon. Go ahead and pause that for a second. So this is a big thing in Alabama to keep the rain away and to have good luck. You go to your wedding venue, you dig a hole, and you put the bourbon in face down. And it worked because it rained before the ceremony. As soon as the ceremony was supposed to start, it stopped raining. And then as soon as the ceremony ended and we went inside, it started raining again.
Wait, you're telling me the bourbon made it not rain?
Yes, I'm telling you, if you go to a wedding, you tell your bride and groom, you better bury the bourbon to have good luck and not have rain during your ceremony. Just saying, it worked. It worked. I know you're skeptical,
Oh, yeah.
but don't knock it till you try it. All right, let's keep moving. And this was a big part of what they came up with. So you're going to see a lot of the bourbon drinking. Let's go ahead and... So you're seeing everybody take a hit of that bourbon. The mother of the bride, the aunt, the father.
It's time for me to get some bourbon, dude.
That was the officiant. That's the brother. And then we're walking. We're moving the story along. Oh, and what do we have here? Another time lapse. I love time lapses to progress the story and how it changes. I especially love it when it changes from day to night. Here we have a first dance.
What happened to Sweet Caroline, dude?
I got another copyrighted song in here.
I don't know this one.
It's a cover. You'll pick it up. Actually, no, you won't. This is a country song called Country Fried. You've heard it for sure.
It doesn't sound very country fried.
That's the name of the song. It's literally like Country Fried something. So I'm behind the band here. I kind of liked that framing.
No, that's cool.
But I had 1 or 2 lights, but they were super small panels.
You know, as nice as I was just looking at it in the last shot,
Yeah.
as nice as this place is, the ceiling in here, they have a terrible ceiling.
Yeah.
Sorry
I
if
mean,
you're
it's a
listening.
barn. It's a barn. Here's the cake cutting.
But
Could have
that's
used
where
a
you get
light.
that cool bokeh, which obviously you and I weren't getting on our first weddings. A lot of great bokeh,
I
but
could have done that on my 1.8.
you could have.
So here it's getting real dark.
Yeah, we both had the same problem, obviously. There's a
little bit.
Of course, if you're getting bokeh at the back, the ceiling's be too out of focus to tell how bad it is.
Here we go.
The wedding I did here, people were dancing on tables and going crazy, and the owners were just like losing their minds.
Well, I actually pause it for a second. The reason the wedding was at this venue is because I went to high school with the owner of this venue, and they said, where should we get married? Because they really came from Orlando. They didn't know anything in the area. And I said, well, you should check out Up the Creek. I heard it's awesome. I've never been there, but I've just heard good things. And I've never filmed a wedding. I'm not in the wedding industry. They ended up signing up, and then I ended up videoing. It's weird. So keep moving.
My friend Chris's dad mows the grass there.
Really. This is where things are really going to start to fall apart. On
I
many
honestly
fronts.
think that you went for 8 minutes on this.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think this
thought
would
that
have
was
been
a good
better at
idea.
about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a lot of dancing. I think the rest of this is basically dancing. And then it gets real rough. Well, the band was actually very interesting compared to a DJ. It made it very cool. And then they had little strange elements where the song like crescendos and they like came together, and I was like, well, I guess I got to put that in there. And then I had this weird, trippy scene that I know is going to come up, and it's really going to...
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm going to turn red. I'm going to be real embarrassed.
I can't wait.
They're singing songs that are popular to them. Here it is. Oh, God.
Wow. I don't know.
I don't know.
It doesn't match them. If there was like some techno music or something, like if you had like that EDM dance music going at the end,
Yeah.
like I usually like to end with, that would have made more sense. But
Oh,
I don't.
we got another
I don't
time
see a
lapse.
lot of that in country music.
Well, they played both sides. It was a University of Florida song. They both went to the University of Florida.
I'm just saying, like I don't see Toby Keith like just going out like that, dude.
Yeah, I would have had to change the music. And here we have the Last Dance. And then we have the Sparkler exit.
There's like some weird stuff going on with the sparklers.
Well, it's in slow motion because of After Effects.
There's something weird. I like it though. Like I'm not saying that.
And there it is. That's my old
Wow,
logo. And
wow.
business.
Let's just focus on this for a minute, dude. I thought my early logo was bad. Holy crap, dude.
I thought I was so cool when I made this logo. I was like, I got the GoPro because I use that, and I got the drone and the O. Actually, this is like the second or third version.
It's a
too.
good thing that everybody stopped watching this before now, dude. That's all I've got
The
to say.
DSLR in there. Man, I made that in Illustrator, and I just thought it was so cool.
For everybody that's still here, I want you to give this video a thumbs up for that logo right there. Thumb this up and share. That's a GoPro, dude.
Oh man.
Okay, well I'm done giving you a hard time because I think we both danced around naked in front of this camera here, showing our first weddings.
Yeah.
So let me give you my favorite part about it.
Okay.
I think that you had a lot of like crisp imagery. Like a lot of it was sharper than what I was putting out at the time with my little T5i. My biggest criticism is, I'm wrestling between two things I want to say.
You got to click on my screen here. We got to
Oh,
see if I can come back to life.
You got a poor connection.
Oh, man.
You know what it is? Trevor turned his camera off because he's embarrassed of this logo. So just don't worry about that. Well, we're gonna wrap it up pretty quick anyway. No, I'm wrestling between my two biggest criticisms, either being that you didn't have a lot of audio, or that you the two songs at the end.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can give you a pass. I mean, I like Sweet Caroline. I
don't own that.
It's totally cliche.
You
also.
didn't build that.
You didn't.
Well, when it's your first wedding,
you didn't build that.
when it's your first wedding, it's not cliche.
Oh, it's cliche. See this poor connection right here? That's Trevor not wanting you to see his embarrassed face. But I'm going to say, for what we were doing at the time, for our first weddings, breaking onto the scene, okay? I think it was a lot of fun. I think that you can get a lot of insight here. Do you want me to hang up on you? Call
Just
you back?
hanging up on me.
Look, I'm giving people's phone numbers away and shit, dude.
You better blur that out in post. All right, let's see here. Oh, what's it doing now?
You have a poor connection.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to live without me.
Bye. Get people's phone numbers off the screen there. All right, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode. I missed the minor technical difficulties.
We want to hear about their first weddings. Put a link to your first wedding, and we might watch that on air.
Would you guys be interested in us watching your very first wedding video? What I'd be afraid, though, is we're going to get ringers, dude. They're not going to actually show us.
They're going to show us
send
our old one.
They're going to
Their
show
new
us their
one.
favorite ones, and then we're going to be stuck watching that and, feeling like idiots. How about this? Send us your worst one. We're going to have should we have the worst wedding video contest?
Yeah, we should give something away.
What would we give away?
I don't know. We have things to give away, though.
We do. We've got so much gear.
What should we give away? Tell us what we should give away.
Let's wait. Let's find out. We can talk about it off air and find out what we're going to give away. And if one of you out there wants to show us, your cringe fest first early work, let us have it. And maybe on a later episode we'll watch a later wedding video. We'll go over one of our same day edits and show you how this is light years behind where we are now. But I had just one question for you, Trevor.
No, hold on. Before you ask me that question, if you're listening to this on podcast, you need to go on the YouTube channel. You need to see it in all its terrible cringeworthiness. And where can they find that? Check Two Studios. Just search for Check. Actually, we have our own, because now we have 100 subscribers. We have our own channel. So it's YouTube.com.
You know what, Trevor? I'm taking over.
YouTube.com/channel/Check Two Studios. So make sure you check it out there.
That's right. Now you're going to shoot first.
Ask questions later.